Hello my dear student friends, welcome you all to the digital image processing lecture number 11. In this lecture we shall be discussing about different types of the image transformation methods. Okay, in previous lecture we had a discussion about image negation, right, and image identity. Okay, so those are also one kind of linear type of image transformation methods. Okay, now let us go for non-linear type of image transformation methods. Okay, so in that case we will be discussing about log transformation and power law transformation methods. Is that fine? Okay, so let us go to the next slide. So I hope we had a discussion about this figure in the previous lecture itself, right? So remember that this is nothing but a basic graph of or mapping of the input image intensities and output image intensities. Okay, so input image intensities are nothing but R, okay, and output image intensities are nothing but S, right? So these are nothing but the log and anti-log curves. Okay, so a log curve and inverse log curve, that is anti-log curve. Okay, so in that case here definitely as the log term is there, so as we are studying about the logarithmic transformation method, so definitely remember that the log will be coming into the picture. Okay, so over here log and anti-log will be coming into the picture. Fine. So in case of input image intensities, so remember that these are nothing but the lower range of the image intensities. Okay, and that has been mapped to the large range of output image intensities. Okay, so this is nothing but a large variation, right? Okay, and similarly the wide band or the larger intensities, brighter intensities have been mapped to the narrow range of the brighter intensities, right? So this is nothing but the very narrow range of that particular intensities, right? So remember that whenever we are going for the log transformation, so narrow range of or the darker shades of your intensities have been mapped to the brighter intensities. Okay, so these are nothing but somewhat brighter intensities. Okay, and these brighter intensities have been marked again, mapped to the brighter intensities, but they are having a very narrow range of brighter intensities. Okay, so this range is nothing but, let us say, this is nothing but the range of that particular intensities. Okay, so very slight changes into the particular gray level intensities are taken place in case of this let us say range of intensities. Okay, so this I hope this is a very large variation, isn't it? So these are nothing but actually dark intensities. So over here the dark intensities are there, and those dark intensities have been mapped to the somewhat brighter intensities. Okay, so this is nothing but your center point, right? So neither it will be a more darker or nor it will be a darker. Okay, so this is nothing but a center position of your gray level intensity. Is that fine? Great. So remember that these darker intensities have been mapped to the somewhat large range of the brighter intensities. Yes, I hope you can identify the change. Okay, so this is nothing but the change of your gray level intensities. Okay, so these are very dark intensities, and those dark level intensities have been mapped to the somewhat brighter intensities. Okay, and these are the brighter intensities, right? So these are the brighter intensities of our input image, right? And they have been again mapped to the brighter intensities, but the variation is very small. Okay, so variation is very small. I hope you can identify this is a variation for this particular range of intensities, brighter intensities from the input image. Okay, and vice versa for an inverse logarithm, a very small changes into the intensities have been mapped to the dark level intensities, and for bright level intensities, okay, now we can identify these are the changes, right? So this is nothing but your mapping of that particular brighter intensities in case of anti-log curve or inverse log curve. Okay, fine. So let us check out what exactly we are going to perform in case of logarithm kind of transformation. So remember that we are going to map the S pixels, that is nothing but the output pixels, as C multiplied by, C is nothing but some constant term, C is a constant, right? Okay, multiplied by log of okay, 1 plus r. So this is the function for this conversion. Okay, so likewise by means of this function we are going to convert the this input pixel intensities into the logarithmic function by means of a log, and that will be mapped to the s, right? That is nothing but your output intensities. Okay, is that fine? So let us discuss that. So check out what is the logarithmic function. So the log transformation curve shows, already we have discussion about your log curve. Okay, so we had a discussion about the log curve, right? And this is going to give you the function as the logarithmic function is nothing but having a equation as c is nothing but a constant multiplied by log of 1 plus r is nothing but the pixel intensities of your input image, right? Okay, so where c is a constant and it is assumed that r must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so remember that r may be in terms of integer 8, unsigned integer 8, it may be unsigned integer 16, right? So it will have, or it will hold the values which is ranging from, let us say, 0 to 255 if r is having unsigned integer 8 type of character variable. Okay, so if r is nothing but unsigned integer 8 type of variable, then it is nothing but holding the value ranging from 0 to 255, right? So the pixel information will be having values in between 0 and 255. Okay, we'll check it with the help of one example, right? So we are going to perform experiment based on this log transformation again, and we'll be discussing about that how to perform the log transformation by means of a octave programming, right? Okay, fine. The shape of the log curve as shown in figure 1 shows that this transformation maps. So what is going to map it? It is going to map the narrow range of the low level gray intensities, okay, into wide range of output values. So wide range of output values we have discussed, right? So in case of previous slide, so these are nothing but the low level gray level intensities, right? We had a discussion about it, and they have been mapped to the higher level of brightness intensities in case of your output intensity. So these are nothing but the output intensities. Remember this, on x-axis it is a input intensity, and on y-axis it is output intensity, right? So input intensities are darker intensities right now, and those darker intensities have been mapped to the brighter intensities on the output image, right? Fine. Okay, and similarly similarly maps the wide range of high level gray intensities have been mapped to the narrow range of high level output intensities, right? We have seen this already, we have discussed this, so I am not going to repeat it once again. Okay, now opposite to that, so we had a discussion about anti-log curve as well, right? So opposite to that, this applies to the inverse logarithmic transform. This transform is used to expand the values of dark pixel. So what is the application of this transform, log transform? To expand the values of dark pixel intensities, right? And to compress the values of bright pixels. Okay, so application is nothing but expansion of dark intensities, okay, or dark pixels, and compression of bright pixels. Because remember that in many cases dark pixels have more information as compared to the bright pixels, right? So for that purpose we are going to expand these dark pixels, and we are going to compress this. A very small amount of information is present into the bright pixels, right? Okay, so if you are considering the medical application, so remember that dark pixels are having more information as compared to the brighter pixels, right? Okay, for example, log function s is given as c into logarithmic of 1 plus r, and for r is varying in between 0 to 255. What is the meaning of this? So remember that the input pixel information will be having, let us say this is nothing but l minus 1 is nothing but 255. Okay, that is l number of gray level informations are 256. So how to find out the number of bits associated to it? So L is equals to 2 raised to k, right? So right now L is 256, isn't it? So how to find out 2 raised to k? Okay, so k can be found out by means of it is nothing but 8. 2 raised to 8 is nothing but 256, isn't it? So that's why k is 8. So that is nothing but your unsigned integer 8 type of data type for that particular R is there. Okay, and S has to be mapped again into this particular range, but once we are going to go for the logarithmic function, let us say if C is having value as 1, then it will result to 0 to 2.1. Okay, so the range, that is output, is coming in between 0 to 2.41. Okay, so if I am going to calculate, let us say log of 1 is 0, right? It is coming as 0, right? And log of 255. Okay, that means log of 1 plus 255, it is 256, no? So log of 256, it is coming as 2.41. Is that fine? So this is the minimum range and this is the maximum value. Minimum value and maximum value are being calculated by means of this. Okay, so let us say current pixel is nothing but having value. Minimum value of the current pixel, that is input pixel, will be having 0 value, isn't it? So log of 1 plus 0, how much it will be? It will be 0, log of 1, and the log of 1 is nothing but 0, right? And log maximum value of information present into this input image will be having value as 255. So log of 1 plus 255, it is coming as log of 256, right? And it will result to 2.41. It is the maximum value. Okay, but if I am going to plot this image having such kind of values, it will give you all the information as a black. Okay, so all the pixel or all the picture will look as a black image. Okay, so only a black color will be visible as an image. So we need to map it into again 0 to L minus 1 level of gray level intensities, so that we can get the meaningful information or meaningful image from that particular transformation, right? So ultimately what we need to do, we need to again map these information, okay, in terms of again L minus 1 or 0 to L minus 1 levels of gray level intensities. Okay, so that we can get the meaningful image from that particular information, and then we can say that yes, because of this transformation I have got some meaningful information, that is nothing but in terms of dark level information have been converted into brighter levels of pixels after transformation. Okay, so let us check it out with the help of this example. Okay, so we are going to do some modification into the program, final program, and we'll be discussing that by means of octave programming, right? Okay, so over here just focus on this. So what is the first step? We need to first capture the image, or we need to read the image, right? So let us say we have captured the image and we have stored on our PC. Okay, so this is not over here, we are going to mention the address of that particular image. So over here we need to write f is any attribute, or it's a variable. Simply we can say IamRead is a function which is going to read the image. Okay, and what is the standard syntax? Syntax is nothing but you have to provide the path of that image, path of image slash then name of image with extension. Okay, with extension and single inverted comma completed, and then bracket complete and semicolon. Okay, so if you are not going to mention the semicolon, you will be getting if semicolon is not there, then it will show all the pixel information, pixel values. Okay, and remember that whatever the size of that particular image, those many number of pixels will be displayed. Let us say this image is of 810 multiplied by 810, and there are three colors, right? So right now I am reading the color image. Okay, and this is having 810 rows, 810 columns, and three color information, that is RGB. Okay, so we will be discussing that what is RGB and all these things. Okay, fine. So let us discuss that again over here. Okay, so let us take example. okay, look over here. Suppose I want to change the font color. Okay, so let us go into this. Okay, so that you can understand what is exactly the meaning of this. So black is represented by RGB as 000. So no color information is present over here, right, for the black color. So right now this is representing the black color, isn't it? Right now this is representing a black color. Yes. Okay, now if I'm going to select, let us say, this color. Okay, so let us say this color is there, and let me change this slider. So is it changing this value? These values are going to change, right? So red is changing, okay, green is changing. Is that fine? So if I'm going to press it over here, blue, so more dominant color is blue, right? So it is having value as 215, okay, 215, right? So again it is nothing but RGB color, okay? And remember that each and every color is formed with the help of these three combinations, okay? So red, green and blue, these are having some contribution into it to form that particular color, okay? So let us say this is green. In that case, green is dominant over there, okay? So whenever the greenish shade is there, so remember that green color is dominant as compared to other two colors, right? Okay, if I am going to consider the red, then in that case red is predominant over the other two colors. Is that fine? So remember that this is nothing but the color information, so RGB. So these three informations will be also present in this, let us say these three, okay? Is that fine? Great. Okay, now, so as we have read this image, let us resize it. Resizing means changing the size of that particular image. Okay, so if right now my image is of 810 by 810 pixels, if I am going to resize by 2, that means simply I am dividing the number of rows by 2 and number of columns by 2, right? So simply it is taking a half picture, right, or half pixels of that particular image. Okay, so this is nothing but the function which is going to resize that image. You can go for 2 as well. So simply it is nothing but a expansion, that is nothing but a magnification of this image. Okay, so this is nothing but zoom out. Right now we have done this is as a zoom out divided by 2, right? Okay, and we have plotted that image, original image, right? So this is nothing but the IAMShow function which is going to show the result. Is that fine? Okay, now let us convert. So in previous example or in previous lecture we have gone directly by using the function RGB to gray. Okay, so RGB to gray, that was the function that we have used to convert the color image into the gray image, right? So let us say that was nothing but RGB to gray of a color, a information, right? That is a image. And over here we are going to use some formula. So this is nothing but a simply, this is the function which is implemented like this in this format. Okay, so this is nothing but simply taking the image, okay, and multiplying each color with gray level information, right? So to our color, to red color, we are going to multiply by 0.2989. So this is the standard function, or this is the standard formula to convert the color image into the gray image, right? So red information will be multiplied with 0.2989, okay? Then that will be added, let us say, with this green color. Okay, so second column or the second information will be having a green color information, and that will be multiplied with 0.5870. okay, f is nothing but your input image, right? So remember this is nothing but f. Okay, and let us say this is nothing but b, that is blue color. Okay, so to the blue color we are going to multiply by 1140. Okay, so let us check. Let us say R, G and B are having value as 2 or 100, let us say. Okay, and let us calculate this over here. Is that fine? So how we can calculate G? G over here, it is nothing but 0.2989 into, what is the value of red? Red is nothing but having value as 100 plus 0.5870 multiplied by again 100. Okay, this green color information is having value as, or green pixel is having value as again 100, and plus let us say 0.1140, 29.1140 multiplied by 100. Is that fine? So what is the value? It is nothing but 29.89 plus 58.70 plus 11.40. Okay, so let me calculate this. $29.89 plus 58.7 plus 11.4. So it is resulting as 100. Okay, so gray level information is also resulting as 99.99, right? So this is nothing but 99.99, so I have approximated it to 100. Okay, so gray level information for that particular color is nothing but again 100. Okay, if I'm going to change the values of RGB, and corresponding changes will be occurring into the G. Okay, so this is nothing but the formula to calculate gray level information from the color image. Okay, fine. So let us say I have chosen C is equals to 50. It is a constant, no? So I can select any value as per our requirement. Okay, so as per our choice, we can select C value. Okay, so constant is selected as a 50, right? Okay, then we are going to go for the log transformation. Okay, so unsigned integer. So if I'm going to convert, or if I'm going to simply use C into log of, let us say, 1 plus G, then it will give me some a decimal value. Let us say it may be a 2.441 multiplied by 50, like that. Okay, so maximum value will be 2.41, right? Multiplied by 50, it will be giving some value, right? So it is going to give me a value in terms of, let us say, a point value, decimal value, right? Okay, but I need to have the values in between 0 to 255, right? So that is my limitation, so I have to map it to again unsigned integer 8. Okay, so I don't want to have floating values, I want to have a integer type of data type. Okay, so for that purpose I'm going to map it to integer data type by means of using this unsigned integer 8. Okay, and I will be converting that point value into the integer value. Is that fine? Okay, then I'm going to plot that image. Okay, so right now I have plotted input image, then I am going to plot it H image. Okay, sorry, over here I have plotted G image, that is nothing but a gray image. Okay, this is nothing but a gray image. Okay, and finally this log transformed image I am going to plot it over here by means of a IAMShow function. Is that fine? I hope you understood it. Okay, I hope this program is clear to you. Okay, so let us do some changes into the program, and we'll execute that program by means of a Octave software, right? Okay, so focus on this. Is that fine? So over here, just focus over here, right? So this is nothing but a close all. It will be closing all the functions that are all the variables that we have used. Okay, then it is going to clear all the content of your let us say variables, right? If you are not going to clear out contents of your previous data program, then it will create some problem while performing the executing the program, right? And the clear screen. Okay, so CLC stands for clear screen. Is that fine? Okay, now over here T is my variable which is going to have the image information, so I am going to use IAMRead function over here. Okay, so IAMRead, this is nothing but the path of my image, and the name of that image is nothing but scene.jpg. Okay, so this same image we have used in a previous example as also. Okay, so while discussing your image negation, we have used the same path, right, and same image. Okay, fine. Now I have gone for the resizing of that image. So okay, so just focus on this T. T is nothing but over here, right? So what is a T? T is having, okay, in the workspace, you just focus it on the workspace. Okay, so T is having unsigned integer. Okay, so data type is nothing but unsigned integer 8. So 8-bit unsigned integer it is there. And the what is the size of that particular image? It is nothing but having 810 rows, then 810 columns, and 3 color information, that is RGB. So this is nothing but your color image, right? Then I have gone for the image resize. Okay, so that value is nothing but present in which which variable? It is f. So focus over f. Okay, so this is nothing but f. This is also unsigned integer 8, and check out the values. Okay, rows and columns have been reduced from 810 to 405. That means it has been divided by 2, right? So alternate rows and columns we have taken over here, and that's why it is nothing but the resized image, right? So simply we can say that the image has been compressed by 50%, right? Or we have compressed that image by 50% or half. Okay, again the three color informations are as it is, right? Okay, then we have plotted the image. Okay, so what are the input image that are we have read that image we are going to plot it by means of a subplot and I am show function, and we have given the title as a input image or original image, right? Now we are going to convert that grayscale color information, that is color image, we have converted into grayscale information by means of this formula. I hope we had a discussion about how to convert the color image to the grayscale image in the previous few minutes only, right? Okay, so again we are going to plot it into the we are going to show that image by using image show function, right? And the title has been given as gray image. Then we have selected c, that is constant value, as 50 as it is. Okay, and we have calculated q. Let us say q is equals to log of 1 plus g. Okay, g is nothing but your grayscale image, right? So g is nothing but taken over here, and it is going to get performed, or the logarithmic function we are going to perform on this particular g plus 1. Okay, and it is going to multiply it with the c, that is 50. Okay, so 50 multiplied with the log of 1 plus g, it will be stored on q. Okay, so q is another variable which is going to hold the log transformed image, right? So okay, over here you can check out what is q. So q is nothing but having a double value. Okay, so double data type it is there, fine, and it is having some. Okay, so 405 by 405. Now as there is no color information, so definitely it will hold only rows and columns, so no third dimension is there, right? Okay, so therefore it is nothing but a gray level information, it is not having any kind of color information, right? So I hope you can find out which are those values. So 242.60, 242 something related to that, right? I cannot take 242.60, right? Because I need to express my image pixels in between 0 to 255. It must not contain any decimal point values, right? So I need to convert that value into unsigned integer, right? So because of that, over here I have performed a sum operation, that is unsigned integer 8, and same operation I have performed it, right? Okay, and for the simplicity I have shown that sum of the pixels from that particular, let us say q and p, so that you can identify what are the changes in between the p and q values. Okay, and finally I have plotted that log transformed image by using IamShow function p. Okay, let us execute this program. Okay, so this is nothing but the output of my this particular program, right? So this is nothing but my original image. Okay, and that image I have converted into this image is nothing but, again remember that it is a compressed image, that is nothing but the resize. I am resized, right? Okay, and then we have gone for the gray level gray level transformation, right? So color image has been converted into the gray level image, and then on that gray level image we have performed the log transformation, and remember that these are nothing but the darker pixels, right? So darker pixels have been converted to the somewhat brighter pixels. Yes, I hope you can recognize it. Okay, so I hope you can recognize the changes between these two images, right? So these all black pixels have been represented as a somewhat brighter pixels, right? And brighter pixels, they don't have any, they don't transform much more as compared to the brighter pixels, right? So the transformation of that particular darker pixel is more to the brighter side, and brighter pixels are having again they will be having low range of the transformation, right? So brighter intensities have been again mapped to the low range of the brighter intensities into the output image, right? So over here the darker pixels have been converted into the brighter pixels, right? It will have more wider range of your brighter intensities. Yes, okay. Now I want to show that why I have chosen this for Q and P. Okay, so let us check it out. Okay, you can find out the log values. Okay, so log answers are coming into the decimal values. Okay, and if I want to convert it into gray level intensity, that is nothing but in terms of, let us say, integer data type, I need to go for the mapping into the let us say L minus 1 values, right? So for that purpose I have gone for the unsigned integer 8, and into that bracket I have mentioned it over there, right? So that these decimal values are been neglected, right? It is nothing but the rounded off. So 242.60 have been converted into 243, right? So it has been rounded to the next digit, right? So 243 is the value for this 242.60. Then this is 242.21. So 0.21 has been rounded off to 0, and it is becoming 242, 242, 240. Likewise this values are coming. Is that fine? So for that purpose I have taken this particular for loop. Okay, so only I wanted to show some of the pixel values, okay, from Q and from P. Okay, so that you can identify why we have taken this mapping of that where that, yes, why we have taken unsigned integer 8. Okay, so we need to map it again into uh, L minus 1 levels, right? 0 to L minus 1 levels. Okay, so that is the need of that particular transformation. Is that fine? Okay, so let us focus over here again. So this completes your log transformation. I hope you understood the log transformation. Yes, okay, so let's go to the next slide. Then we are going to discuss about the power law transformation. Okay, so power law transformation is defined with this function. Okay, so S is nothing but C is again constant, R is nothing but the input pixel information or the pixel value, and gamma is the raised to power. Okay, so over here you can identify if gamma is equals to 1, then it is a nothing but identity type of curve. Okay, so whatever the input pixels are there, that will be as it is into the image. Okay, so this is nothing but representing the linear operation again. If the gamma is equals to 1, that means S is equals to C into R. Okay, only C is nothing but a multiplier. Okay, so this is nothing but again a constant. Okay, and gamma is nothing but right now having a value 1. Okay, so there is no power right now. Okay, so raised to power 1 is nothing but having same information, isn't it? So that's why it is representing output image as it is as that of your input image, right? Okay, so let us say if the input pixel is having value as 255, in output image S will be also having a value as 255 if provided that C is equals to 1. Okay, if and only if the C is 1, then and then only it is valid. Okay, if C is equals to 2, then definitely it will have more value, right? Okay, so the nth power and the nth root, okay, nth power, these are the nth powers, right? And these are the nth roots. Is that fine? Okay, so let us see, gamma is equals to 0.67, 0.40, 0.20, 0.10. Likewise we have changed the raised to power. Okay, so this is going to give you the resultant curve for that particular pixel. So again this curve is resulting as like of your power law transformation, but power law transformation have the curve like this. Okay, so this is kind of curve, right? So again the lower higher range of pixels will be mapped to the very small variations into the brighter pixel intensities, right? So this is nothing but the variation. Over here the again this is nothing but giving you some kind of appearance like that of your log transformation, right? Okay, so this is nothing but a power law transformation. Okay, so this transformation function is also called as a gamma correction. So remember that each and every display is having a particular gamma correction value. Okay, so remember that if you are having your mobile phone, the perception or the appearance of every mobile phone's display is different from every other phone's display, right? because of this gamma correction. Okay, so remember that each and every display is having a different gamma correction. So different gamma values are there associated with the different displays. Okay, so different displays have different gamma corrections. Is that fine? Okay. For various values of gamma, different levels of enhancement can be obtained. So for various values of gamma, yes, so these are nothing but the different values of the gamma, right? And different variations into the output pixel intensities have been observed, right? Okay. It is used to correct the power law response phenomenon. Okay, so this is nothing but used to correct the power law response. Okay. The different display monitors, so as I discussed or as I told you, the different display monitors display images at a different intensities and clarity. So each and every mobile phone's display, or even we are going to consider, let us say televisions, different televisions will have different types of different color intensities or the clarities because of this gamma correction. Okay, so that means every monitor has built-in gamma correction. So remember that each and every display who is giving some kind of different appearance into the output images or the videos, then remember that it is having inbuilt gamma correction in it. Okay, with the certain gamma ranges, right? Again, they have some certain range of gammas. Okay, and so a good monitor automatically corrects. So because of that, the good monitor is going to correct automatically all the images and displayed all the images displayed on it for the best contrast to give user the best experience. Okay, so all the displays are having gamma correction values. Okay, so built-in gamma corrections, and because of that, the monitors are going to provide a good quality of images by means of this gamma correction, and because of that, we are going to use up or we are going to get the best experience of the image displays, right? Okay. Gamma variations changes the ratio of red, green, RGB colors, right, along with the intensity in color images. Okay, so gamma variation is going to change the ratios. Okay, so ratios of these three colors, they are going to change along with the color intensities of that particular images, and because of that, we are saying that this picture clarity is more better than the other displays picture clarity, right? Okay. The difference between the log transformation function and the power law transformation is that using the power law function, a family of possible transformation curves can be obtained just by varying the value of gamma. Okay, so just by varying the value of gamma, we can change the family of the curves, right? So we have seen many curves in a previous slide, right? So these are nothing but the different types of curves. Okay, so by means of changing the value of gamma, we can change the curve. Okay, so that means we can say that the image intensities can be varied over a variety of curves. Is that fine? Okay, so this is nothing but simply a gamma correction method. Okay, so we will have multiple gamma corrected curves. Okay, so as compared to your log transformation, right? So as compared to the log transformation, this power law transformation have multiple curves, or we can say that we can map multiple gray level intensities to different levels of your output gray level intensities by means of a power law transformation. So that is the best advantage of this power law transformation over the log transformation. Is that fine? Great. So let us take a similar kind of example and we'll go for the program of power law transformation, right? Okay, so let us go for this. So this is nothing but your again close all, clear all, it will clear the contents of your previous program, right? This is nothing but the read of image. So we are going to read the image by, that is nothing but lena.bmp. Okay, so this is the image, right? Then we are we have resized that image. Okay, so half we have made it half, right? So the your original image has been converted or compressed to half or 50%. Then we have converted that RGB image into the gray level intensities. Let us say C is equals to 1 and gamma value is equals to, let us say, 1.2. Okay, Then we are going to compute C is equals to, sorry, G is equals to C into R raised to gamma, right? So R is nothing but your pixel information, that is nothing but G. Okay, so G raised to, what is that dot represents? Dot represent that element by element raised to power. Okay, so element by element raised to gamma. Okay, let us say G is having values of, let us say, 410 by 410 pixels, right? So each pixels must have raised to power, that is as gamma. Okay, so let us say 255 is there. Okay, so 255, 255, 255, such like 10 pixels are there. So each pixel have, must have raised to gamma value, right? So 255 raised to 1.2, that is the meaning of this particular dot. So each and every pixel will have the gamma raised to gamma value. Okay, so each and every pixel will have raised to gamma value. Is that fine? So that is the meaning of this dot. Okay, and again we need to map it to again unsigned integer 8, because 255 raised to 1.5, it will result to two higher values, isn't it? So more than, it will be more than 255, isn't it? So we need to again convert it into 0 to 255 range, right? So again we need to map it to 0 to 255 range. So that's why again we need to convert it into unsigned integer 8, right? So for that purpose we have done this outside of this bracket. So C multiplied by this gamma, and we are going to calculate this value, okay, by means of this step. Fine, and then finally we have plotted all the images. Okay, so let us take this and we'll perform this program. Okay, fine. So let us copy this program. Let us create new file over here, paste it over here. I need to change it because I don't have lino.bmp file over here in my laptop. So I need to take it again, d:/scene.jpg. Okay, so remember that in Octave we cannot use slash for the command comments by means of that the slash. Okay, so we need to use hash for that. For using the command, for writing the commands comments, we need to use hash. Okay, fine. So let us run this program. Okay, now all that this data will be removed over here. Okay, let us save this program first before running the program. Add it to the load path. Okay, so let us run this program now. Okay, so this is nothing but the output of our power law transformation program, right? So this is your input image, gray level image, and power law transformed image. So as compared to our log transformed image, this pixel information was not clearly visible, right? So it was just converted as a brighter pixels, but this is giving you more information related to that particular scene, right? So over here there is a light, right? So because of that, this power law transformation, we have got more meaningful information from this particular transformation. Is that fine? Okay, let us check it by changing the gamma value. Okay, so let us change the value of gamma. Let us make it as a 1.8, and let us run it again. So this is nothing but the image after gamma value variation. So 1.8. So because of that, only some dots are visible, right? So this is nothing but the gamma corrected image. Let us change the value again. Let us make it 0.8. let us check out what is the output. Okay, so more darker intensities are there. Okay, so likewise we can change the value of the gamma, and as per our application we can choose the appropriate value of gamma, and we can get the more meaningful information from that particular image, right? Okay, fine. Thank you. We will conclude this lecture right now, and we'll continue in the next lecture.